Video 2, Volume 3, Confidence and Observation. Building confidence is a skill which must be maintained and worked on. There's been times when I felt so confident and other times done the exact same task and felt the complete opposite, just because of mindset. There's been times I felt so sure that it's been shattered by a blow to my self-confidence. It's how you approach either a person, a task, or even something you're frightened to do, regardless of how you feel or what's happened in the past, which will determine the outcome. Everything comes down to your approach and mindset. How you feel currently about something is not what you need to fix, because this can be fixed by itself through action. Say for example you're scared of flying. This is how you feel right now, or spiders, or losing money, or losing your account balance, or whatever. Let's say just the thought of flying makes you feel anxious. The only thing which will ever change how you feel about flying is by flying. Right now your brain is wired to think negatively about flying. You've just anchored the thought of flying as death or out of control, or being trapped in a plane for 3 hours. You've thought about it so much, it's almost embedded it into your subconscious and now formed as a habit. But to get to the stage of actually getting on an airplane and taking off into the sky, you need to train the other side of your brain to overtake the anxious part and take action on going against everything your brain is convincing you not to do, which is how confidence is built. By doing what you thought you couldn't do and doing it when everything was telling you to do the opposite. This works also with how you've anchored the thought of opening a live trade will result in a loss. Because maybe you took a trade before and lost. Or maybe you've been on a losing streak, so assume the next position you take will be a loser. You may have lost thousands, maybe even your whole account balance, maybe even more than once. You may be surrounded by people who have convinced you that you're a loser. But you're in pain already, you've lost already. You may as well keep going and get a reward for it, otherwise, what's the point? Our brain is organised to control outcomes by winning or trying hard not to lose. Experiencing uncertainty triggers a sense of threat in the brain and body. Threats to safety produce a mix of chemicals which are designed specifically for survival, which causes the fight, flight or freeze response. This is why it's so difficult to trick your brain. It's convincing yourself to throw yourself into what frightens you, or it's causing you to freeze up and lock up in fear. We have to retrain this automatic and animal response. Otherwise, this part of us will dominate everything we do. Less than 0.2% separates us from chimps. When the markets produce uncertainty, or your lack of confidence produces uncertainty because you have no strategy, rules, or previous historical data to measure yourself against, you're just running around in circles, freezing every time you go to place a trade. Then because you haven't placed any trades, you begin throwing yourself into stupid trades through urgency and desperation. It's not easy, because there's so many things within our life which can knock our confidence and belief within ourselves, either temporary or long term if we allow it. Doubt and low self-esteem will kill more dreams than failure ever will. It's always the person looking in the mirror who is the biggest critic. And it's important to begin working on the skill to interrupt the negative voice when we find it overtaking our thoughts, especially when it comes to forex trading. Questions we ask ourselves like, but what if I lose? So what? If you complete this entire course and begin implementing the risk management and mental approach to the markets as I have taught, you can lose 7 times out of 10 with a 1 to 3 risk to reward and still remain profitable. Other questions you ask yourself are, will I make money? Should I be holding my winners longer? Should I increase my stop loss? Should I have taken that trade? Should I cut this trade I'm in, which is in a floating loss? It's always, should I, or I'm not sure. You feel like if you had confidence within yourself, you wouldn't have any of these problems. You know that you would pull the trigger more often on positions and feel okay when you're in a small amount of drawdown. You know that if you could just do it already, this would make you the trader you need to be. You feel so close already, but you just lack the confidence in taking the necessary moves. The only way to build your confidence within the markets is by participating within the markets and observing your actions when you are taking part. The biggest turning point for myself within trading was to track everything. I would suggest everyone reading or listening to this to open a demo account if you're struggling with confidence and begin entering every single trade within reason as frequently as you possibly can. Obviously, if you're live trading, the idea is to be more selective and effective with your trades. which is covered within this entire course. But when you're building confidence, you have to have enough data to see how you are performing both negatively and positively. Like with anything in life, everything is about split testing. Whether you run a marketing campaign, a new diet, Facebook ads, or trying on new shoes, you have to see data and a comparison between losses and wins and begin viewing yourself from a third person. When you buy shoes, you never just buy the first pair. You try on 3 different pairs and different sizes to find the right fit. This theory also applies with trading. How do you know if you're good or what you need to improve unless you're logging and journaling your every move within the market and viewing the statistics of your past performance? By logging everything or connecting your demo or live account to MyFXbook, you can look back on everything, cross-reference it with your journal or the previous charts at that point, and begin figuring out the basics of what you're doing right and wrong. What happened when you manually closed that trade? Did it continue to go into profit? And what if it hit your predetermined take profit you set? What happened when you got stopped out? Did price then continue in your favoured direction? When you did get stopped out, was your stop too small? What happened the week beginning the 4th? Did you enter too many trades? More than the other 3 weeks you were trading? Why did you enter too many trades? What happened that week? By connecting your account up to anything which measures win rate, expectancy, average pick gain per trade, you can begin to view your bad habits and assess why you're doing what you're doing, which may not even be as bad as you initially thought. As mentioned within other parts of this course, you cannot change something unless you're aware of it. Once you become aware, you can begin to build an actionable plan to prevent what's sabotaging your positive wins. This will massively improve your confidence, because you're going to look back on previous data and begin to see a pattern with what you do when you get things right and what you do when you get things wrong. Once you've established this, you can simply remove what is destroying your account and ultimately knocking your confidence. Because losing streaks and huge losses is going to ruin your confidence. It seems trading in demo is counterproductive, because obviously it isn't real money. Therefore removes the emotional aspect of entering the market as you would have done with live funds. But this task of trading demo is not about that. It's simply to collect data. So when you do go into live trading, you already know your own character within the market and you know what not to do from tracking your demo performance. It's simply to figure out yourself so when the time is right, you do not lose a huge amount of money live trading and then figuring everything out within yourself after the losses. Because if you jump straight into live trading before doing this, you're going to lose your own money. It's going to really hurt losing it, which will hit your confidence hard and anchor the thought of trading as a general negative feeling. The benefits of demo trading when you're within the learning phase is also to build good habits and routine. Treat the account and the management of the account exactly as if it was real and if it was your real life. Because one day very soon, this is going to be your real life. Repetition is the mother of learning. Other than tracking your performance for 1 to 3 months, which is crucial to learning and building confidence, what else can we do which can help keep our confidence and build on what we have and not to damage it? Number 1. After collecting data and observing your previous track record, you can now go live with your real account because you will now have a better idea of what to do and what not to do. Stop the urgency you once had when you were within your job or business. Your urgency that may have created your productiveness or success prior to trading is now the damaging factor of your trading. Things you may have done prior to trading which create results do not always apply to trading. Patience is key and within my top 5 disciplines within trading to prevent knocking my confidence. Overtrading and impulse trading will cause frequent losses which will ruin your base confidence. Number 2. Never overtrade or revenge trade, or find yourself taking trades through urgency because you haven't taken a trade yet this week which has not met your rules. You may get lucky on the random trade you enter, but the reality is unintentional trades taken with no reason or purpose are trades which are likely to result in losses which will damage your confidence. By taking stupid trades, you lose, you get angry, you begin getting irrational and revenge trade. Sometimes not everything in trading is about gaining confidence, but actually keeping your existing confidence and building off it. Because frequent real losses creates trauma memory and makes you even more fearful and vigilant when you next enter the market. Number 3. Learn to observe the market patiently, not urgently. I read something once which gave a really great example of a trader. If you type into YouTube a tiger or a cougar or a lion killing a deer, You will see how patiently it waits before striking and killing the deer. When it strikes and kills the deer, it does so effortlessly. It's clean, surgical, and intentional. You'll find a lion or tiger will sit for hours before attacking the deer, sometimes allowing many deers to pass by before attacking the correct one. The lion understands the patterns and behavioural characteristics of the deer like second nature, just like the forex market. We need to understand the patterns and characteristics of price action, and with the great observation and patience, only attack when you have multiple reasons and a strong belief to do so. If the deer runs away, the lion doesn't continue to chase it. It cuts its losses and gets the next deer. You have to learn how to ambush the market, not allow the market to ambush you. You also have to learn how to be an observer of yourself and your thought patterns and historical pre-existing dialogue which keeps preventing you from entering trades. You have inherited self-limiting beliefs from society and your history, which whisper in your ear each time you try and break out. Those beliefs are not you. Number 4. Begin treating trading like a work of art, just like any athlete or musician with their work. Anyone who excels within their profession understands that they can never predict the outcome, but they can control their performance and mindset. They also understand how to manage and regulate their emotions. You have to fully commit yourself to mastering your own thoughts and beliefs, realizing that whatever passes through your mind when you enter the market is a separate thing which can be controlled. You cannot just be average with this or just partly committed. You have to be all in, 100% every single day. Number 5. Begin not just working on your trading confidence, but your general confidence. You need to master confidence within all areas of your life to build overall confidence within yourself. This means sticking to the other things you told yourself you would do, like eating healthy, working out, or any separate promises you kept yourself which you are not currently keeping. One of the most damaging ways to reduce your existing confidence is doing the opposite of what you said you would do, not to others, but to yourself. If you said you would do something, then do it, because otherwise you're tricking your subconscious and telling it that you cannot keep to your own word. Health is wealth. It's a common quote, but it's so true. How can you operate from a high level with clarity and focus when you're not looking after yourself in other areas of your life? Poor nutrition does contribute to additional stress, tiredness, and the risk of irrational thinking which alters your overall performance within trading. I'm not a dietitian or nutritionist, so I'm not going to sit here and write you a meal plan or a gym workout, but I do want to put emphasis on looking after yourself generally, obtaining enough sleep, staying hydrated, taking regular breaks from the charts, and ensuring when you're at home and trading, healthy food is in the cupboards. Because if there's no bad foods, you'll not eat them because they won't be there. When we are tired and stressed, we search out convenience and to cut corners in other areas of our lives. Lack of water generally alters concentration. It's important to keep up with the basics, such as staying hydrated. Begin changing your routine to work around trading. You have to start acting like the trader you wish to become before you become it. What would a professional trader do? How do they live? Study people you wish to become and begin forming the habits they use. Number 6. To look after the confidence you do currently have, stop overtrading. Overtrading is not about the lack of knowledge, but it's a habit. For your broker, they want you to overtrade. This is why it isn't spoken about much. Your broker makes money every single time you trade, which is why signal providers churn out and post as many trades as possible. Signal providers get you to sign up to their broker, and they get paid the higher the position size you trade and the frequency of your trading. So every time you're just jumping into trades and damaging your overall performance and confidence because the trades you're taking are diluted with no reason, you're making someone else wealthier and making yourself poorer. Overtrading is a loss of impulse and self-control. It's a habit which can be reprogrammed. When you overtrade because you're desperate to make money or just generally participate within the market, majority of the time you're misplacing your capital for the wrong reasons. Everyone knows that once a trade goes wrong, we all wonder why we done it in the first place. Every trader who overtrades or impulse trades gets locked into a dream state of chasing trades, money and wins. What most do not realize, even though intellectually they know better, that when you're trading with this dream state, every trade you take is always based on the wrong reasons, which exposes you to more frequent stop loss hits and diluted trading. A lot of traders convince themselves that if they are to become a successful trader, they should be proactively doing something every hour of every day. It's completely backwards, because actually doing something every hour of every day is what's damaging your trading performance. Like I've mentioned before, there's a big difference between being busy and then being intentional and productive. Being intentional and productive means you do not need to be in the markets every day, but only in the markets when it matters. Sure, you may feel lazy all the time in between. I'm sure that's how the lion feels when hunting and waiting for the deer. But this phase between trades is part of the entire process. Begin letting go of the belief that to make money in the markets, you need to be in the markets every hour, or attempting to take trades on the 5-minute chart. There's a misguided belief that we should be working hard, moving towards our dreams, making them happen, which is completely true. But never confuse this with convincing yourself that by achieving profitability, it requires more trading. More trading never equals more money, ever. Effective trading equals more money. Believing you have to be doing something is damaging. And the fear of missing out goes hand in hand with overtrading. Effective traders do not overtrade. What's so interesting is when they did a study on humans, both females and males, which involved leaving them in a room for 15 minutes by themselves with an electric shocker, which they had a choice of pressing or not, 67% of men chose to shock themselves and 25% of women chose to inflict the shock rather than sitting in boredom with their own thoughts. People struggle to sit still and entertain themselves. Things to be aware of within your trading: impulse, fear of missing out, urgency to be in control, playing catch up, an urge to make money right now, fighting against boredom or fight for excitement. All key things which damage self-confidence and trading performance. It actually feels good to chase trades and frequently participate within the markets as much as you can, because it releases dopamine and testosterone, which results in more trading. The best way to cancel out overtrading is to stick to the rules-based strategy you have set and ensure you only trade according to this, when the list gets ticked and not based on how you feel. The key to solving any of these problems is to train what you thought was already a trained mind. If you're repeating these mistakes, your mind is just not as trained as you thought it was. The way to overcome any of this is to begin viewing yourself from a third person and observing what you're doing. This is why journaling is a helpful way to reflect and observe yourself, and also attaching your trading results to something which tracks statistics. Nothing can be fixed within your trading faults unless you can first identify them and begin retraining the habit. Let's recap on the presentation. Step into what you fear. Track your progress using demo to build confidence in your strategy and obtain data and performance to find your negatives and positives. Observe your actions and internal dialogue from a third person to reflect and review what you are doing to sabotage your confidence in trading. Build your confidence in all areas of your life by sticking to your word and staying on top of your health and well-being. Accept that sitting still and waiting, just like a lion, is the main component within successful trading, and learn to be intentional and effective instead of busy and damaging. Begin treating trading like a true professional and acting like you would if you were already consistent and successful by building good habits and routines. I hope you've enjoyed this presentation and video. Let's move on to the next video.